All right, YouTube family, what up? So today I got Brad on here to share with you guys his story, how he closed his first wholesale deal. How much is it, Brad?
50,000.
Damn, dude. I'm telling you all the time, man. It only takes one good deal, boom, to change your life. Brad, I remember, dude, making $30,000 a year, working 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, grinding my ass off like a dog, building someone else's empire, making $30,000 a year. And you here, dude, making $50,000 in one wholesale deal. I want to say congrats, bro.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was life changing for me at the time.
Dude, bro. I'm sure that kind of money, dude, is life changing for anybody.
Yeah, it was I had like a playlist on my phone on my Apple Music of songs that I wasn't going to listen to until I got that deal done to the finish line. And so once it closed, I was able to go in my car at night, listen to
Hey,
that music.
Brad, dude, I love that, man. Okay, so name me a song. If okay, let's just say you close a deal and you mentioned there's a couple song, but
Yeah.
out of those couple song, dude, if you were to choose one, which
Oh
one will
God.
it be?
Oh man. Um I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was
You only have to pick one, bro. You only got one
yeah.
option.
Um I mean,
Or
people are gonna make fun of this, but it was an Akon song. It was like
eh,
I'm so paid. It was just a feel good song.
good man. Hey, you know what, dude? I love Akon. He produced some good music, man. So okay, so Brad, let's go ahead and tell a little bit about basically I want everyone to understand, okay? Kind of Brad, so where did you start it? How did you discover wholesaling? How long did it took you to actually close your first deal, man?
It was about 28 days from start to finish.
Damn.
And I learned about wholesaling from watching your videos. And so,
Hey,
I was
Brad.
like, I had most people that I would talk about wholesaling to, they wanted to hear nothing about it, thought it was a pyramid scheme. Oh, that's BS. It's that there's no way that somebody could it'd be that easy. You got to be licensed. What happens if you don't find a buyer? You've heard it all, right? It's
Yep,
like
I heard it
everyone's
all.
always concerned if you don't find a buyer, and no matter, every worry that you ease of theirs, they still don't believe that wholesaling's real. So I'm like, well, there's more money for us, for the people that are willing to do it, then I guess, but now it's obviously blown up and a lot of people are doing it, but it's, yeah, I always thought that that was funny. So yeah, for me, it was life changing.
Yeah, no, I mean, Brad, I can totally, I think it was the other day I had someone in my Skool Community. Basically, he just joined my Skool Community, and he said, "Hey, Kong, you know what? I've been following for years, but I didn't get into wholesaling because I asked somebody, right? It was his friend, and said, hey, he said it's illegal, you can't do it." And he said, Kong, until recently, I saw one of your video that you said you don't need a license, you don't need an LLC, no credit check, none of that, dude. And he said that's when he's like, Kong, I don't know why it took me so long to finally saw. I said, bro, I've been saying that for decades, dude. And then
Yeah.
he finally got into the game, man. And he's a truck driver, so getting the wrong piece of advice, wrong piece of information, especially from the people who never done it. And
Yeah.
I call those, dude, Brad, I call those the dream killer, man. You
Yeah,
know,
it
the
it
internet dream
was,
killer.
but like I'd watch your videos and I'm like, no, like what motive would Kong have for just giving out this free information? There's no I mean, he's building his presence and his reputation would be ruined if he was giving out BS information. So it's just like I go straight to common sense. Like it's just there's no motive in that.
Well, Brad, first off, dude, I want to say, bro, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. And, dude, I appreciate you for putting your trust in me to obviously showing you how to wholesale, dude. I appreciate that so much, man, because
Yeah.
to me, Brad, trust is supposed to be earned, not supposed to be given. So,
Mm.
dude, I'm extremely humbled that I can earn your trust, man. Now, Brad, let's get into your story, Brad. So, what were you doing before you got into wholesaling?
Well, I moved to Montana and I took the first job I could grab. Family moved over here, so I
Yeah.
followed as well from Oregon. And so I took the first job that was decent pay and had a good sign on bonus at the time.
Nice.
And so I grabbed a Schwann's ice cream driver job. And so it was only like $3,000 a month. And,
Okay.
I didn't get home till 7:30 p.m. at night. And so it was a long job. But while I was doing that, I was building my buyers list. So I was building relationships with all clients, putting it out there of what I
Hustle.
was doing. And so I'd build my buyers list, and then I'd watch videos at night on how to wholesale. And so it was just like, everyone talks about, oh, it's so hard to do with a full-time job, but it's the discipline, right? It's like you can't just be, working on somebody else's dreams, building their business and not building your own in your free time. So you're either willing to do it or you're not. So I'd have an hour or two at night before I'd have to get to bed, and I'd be watching videos and watching videos. And then you get an analysis paralysis, a little bit. And so it delays it a while. But I took that sign-on bonus and I banked that. And yeah, then what happens is it was $4,500. And so I did 6 months of building the buyers list on the Schwann's ice cream route, freezing my butt off
Nice.
in the snow. And then I was like, okay, I did the 6 months. I got my full $4,500 sign-on bonus, and I was able to take that money and say, okay, here's my window to go for it, full force with everything I have, and quit Schwann's. So that's what I did, and I started driving for dollars. I quit that job, took that as emergency money to pay the bills, and I gave it all I had. And my now wife was pushing me every day, and she's like, you can do this, don't listen to the noise. And she would motivate me every single day. And yeah, that's how I started.
Brad, I just want to say one thing, bro. Dude, even if you fail, bro, you are a freaking winners already, man. It is extremely
100%.
hard, man. Extremely hard to find a woman out there, dude, that actually support us in what we do and pushes us every freaking day. And
It's a
that they
cheat code.
always, yeah, it is, dude. Truly, it's a cheat code, Brad. I tell people, I made a post on like my Instagram and Facebook, and I said, hey, the biggest decision in your life is finding that right partner, man. Finding the right wife, because that wife can either make you rich or keep you trapped as a little bitch, right? Because, dude, like Brad, I can totally relate to you, man. I wouldn't be here doing what I do if it weren't for the wifey, man. She's the one who
I
pushes me.
agree.
Yep, pushes me and believe in me and gave me the confidence, dude, to go out there and just crush it,
And
man.
all
So
you need is that one person, right? That
all you
just
need,
pushes you every day. And if they believe in you, that's enough.
Brad. Man, I love it, dude. Now, Brad, so your first deal came from this. So this $50,000 came from driving for dollars.
Driving for dollars.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah,
Now,
go ahead.
no, so now, Brad, let's go ahead and break it down, because people said, okay, drive for dollars. Some people go in, they'll be like, hey, Kong, I spent 2 hours driving for dollars. I got 10 houses. I called them up. All of them said no. Oh, man, this doesn't work. So let's go ahead and talk about your journey from driving for dollars. How long did it took you? How many houses you got, and et cetera, man?
So that's something that drives me nuts when I talk to people just starting out. They put in 5% of the effort necessary, right? It's a volume game. Get out there and get hundreds. Like, you have to be getting in the hundreds. And so I think it was about 850 of them that I got, and then I stumbled upon this one, and it was a boarded up house with like a red notice on the door, and I just saw gold. I'm like, oh my gosh, this house is beat to crap, boarded up by the city. And I'm like, nobody's doing anything with this. I have to find out why. And so I looked it up, and there was a lady's name on it. I went to True People Search, like you said, and
Hey,
and looked it up, and I couldn't find anything about her. So I'm standing there at the house, I'm taking pictures, and I'm like, okay, well, what's the next thing you do? And I'm like, I'm gonna ask every single neighbor next to this house if they know anything that's going on with this house. So I start asking the neighbors, and the neighbor says, okay, well, the lady that owns the house, she passed away, and as far as I know, it got willed down to the son. And the son lives in Washington, and he's in and out of jail, and he has no money to do anything with the house. That's all I needed to hear. I'm like, this is done deal. Like, this
yeah.
guy's out of state, doesn't have any money to do anything with the house. He's in a rough situation. You tell me, if I show up and I offer him a cash offer, he's not going to take it. I'm like, I'm going to find this guy.
Dude, what, Brad? Man, you're such a hustler, dude. I,
It
like,
gets
no,
better.
Brad, like, no, honestly, dude, the more I hear your stories and how you actually make it happen, because there's a saying, when there's a will, there'll be a way. Dude, you represent that.
You have
And
to be
bro,
willing to do the things that others won't, to have the things that others don't. Like, you have to.
yeah,
We're in the business of solving problems.
facts.
Like, and so if you're willing to, go full PI and find this guy, then that's somebody is going to find that guy and somebody's going to do a deal. And
I love it.
so a lot of out of staters, like, that own these places, they're just give up and they're
Yep,
only looking for local owners. And I'm like, you guys are missing a big niche here. Like,
for sure. So, Brad, tell me the whole story then. So, how was you able to find him? Got him to sign the contract?
so I knew it was probably in probate. So I was
Okay.
like, okay. I went down to the county clerk. I was able to find that, he was the personal representative on it down at the courthouse, and just by asking the clerk a bunch of questions, and so I jumped on the computer, found his name, and I tried all the phone numbers that were on record for him, nothing. And then so I'm like, okay, I found one email that was like some funky email, and I was like, okay. And I start emailing him, and I'm just like, just winging it. I don't know
Mm.
exactly what to say. So I just wing an email to him, send six more of them over the course of like a few days, and all of a sudden, I get an email back that says "F you, don't message me," and I'm like, okay. And so, but it was a major win for me because I'm like, okay, this guy exists. He's alive. He exists. All I have to do is get in front of this guy because, again, if I offer him something and he can't do anything with it, why would he not take it? And I could
Yeah.
not think of a reason he wouldn't. And so, I ended up, um, uh, going onto social media, and I found through social media that I was able to get a hold of his ex-wife on Facebook. And so
Right.
I talked to his ex-wife on Facebook, and she's like, I know where he lives, with his new girlfriend. He's wanted. He's got warrants out, so that's probably why he doesn't want to talk to you. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, but you know where he lives? And she's like, yeah, I'll talk with you about it. I live here. So I took off with like, at the time I was pretty low on my savings and I had like 240 bucks left.
Damn,
So I took off to Spokane, Washington to meet with her to get the information on where he lived. And so
bro.
I get to her house and she tells me, I'll I'll only give you the address of where he lives if you give me 100 bucks. And I was like, done. Tell me where he lives.
Now you're down
And
to now you're down from 200 some down to
yeah,
100
now I'm
some.
down like 100, and
Damn,
I think it was like $9 after
Brad,
gas to get there. And
Brad,
it's old 2003 Corolla.
Brad, dude, this stories, bro. Dude, your stories, bro. I gotta say, bro, it's probably so far the best stories that I have
Oh,
heard so far, bro. And I'm glad that to have you on here, man. So keep
yeah,
going.
and it's the motivation from watching your videos.
Yeah.
You have to hustle. And so anyways, so I head to Spokane, Washington, and she wasn't there. So I'm like, okay, she's not here. So I didn't have any money for a hotel. So, but I brought a pillow with me in my back seat. So I ended up going to the emergency room parking lot and slept in my car in the emergency room parking lot until the next day, hoping she would be there. Cause I'm like, I came all the way here. Like, I'm not leaving until it's mission success.
Damn,
Like, so
damn, bro.
next day I go there, security was at the hospital knocking on my window in the night. And I told them, can I please just stay here? I feel it's safe here, and they're like, yeah, that's fine, but you need to be out of here in the morning. And so I go back to bed. And so at
Damn.
9:30 the next morning, I show up at her house and she was there. And so she's like, okay, um, he lives at this address, and it was like 40 minutes further west, close to Seattle, kind of. And so I end up going over there, and she gives me, she wouldn't give me the address. She just gave me the Facebook page of his current girlfriend. So I start talking to her, and I'm on the phone
Jesus
with her
Christ.
over and over and over, like pretty much at this point, desperate, begging her to let me talk to Jeremy, who was the seller. I mean, the personal rep, which was the son of the property. And so Eventually, after a few calls, another night in the emergency room parking lot, sleeping again, I ended up hearing him in the background during talking to her on the phone, the current girlfriend. And I hear Jeremy talk. I'm like, is that Jeremy? And she's like, yeah, but he doesn't want to talk to you. And I said, please, just let me talk to him. I want to offer him money for the house in Missoula. And so he gets on the phone for a brief second, and he's like, here's the deal, bro. You don't give my address to my ex-wife. I'll meet you tomorrow at 12. You got 30 minutes of my time. And if I don't like it, then I'm not going to do business with you. So be prepared. And don't you dare give my address out to my ex-wife, because I'm wanted and she'll turn me in for child support. So again, now I'm sleeping in the
Dude, what a
Anytime Fitness
crazy story.
parking lot. We're 3 days in now, and I've got like $72 now at this point. And so next day I meet him on the porch, and you know, he's a rough looking fella, and I'm just like, okay, a game face on. I've never done a deal before, never, any of that. And so, but I have my purchase and sale contract I got from you. I've got everything ready. And after about 15 minutes, I was just playing the part. I'm talking to him, and I offer him 160 on the house. And he goes, the lowest I go is 170. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, well, let me call my partner real quick and see if I could come up that last 10 grand. Go over to my car, call my brother, who's not my partner. I'm just faking it. At this point, you got to, play the part.
Yep.
And so I make that call. A few minutes later, I come back. I said, we can go 170, not a penny higher. And I'm playing the part. And he signed it for 170.
Brad.
And so, yeah,
Brad,
it was
Brad.
crazy.
Hold on a second, Brad. You are truly, dude, the symbol of whatever it takes, man.
Anything.
Because I'm telling you,
I was broke.
Dude, most people, Brad, would have quit the first time when they call and that guy said F you, right? Like,
Yep.
they would have been done. But dude, this is what separates between the winners and the loser. Man, you're like, dude, the guy actually answered me, right?
Yeah.
He's alive.
He's alive.
Bro,
Like,
what a beast, dude.
but it's like, but that's the thing, like with sellers, you have to gauge motivation, right? And if I knew his motivation was up here, like he had no reason to say no, right? Then I had to pursue him. Like,
this is wild, Brad. Okay, so you got under contract for 170.
Yep.
Now everyone worries about, now you only have like what, 50, 70, whatever bucks.
Yep.
So how much do you put down for the EMD, which is the earnest money?
It was I think I put down $10.
So if
he didn't like that, but I just said, I was like, well, we don't like to have a lot of capital tied up at title. Like, we're working on multiple projects, again, playing the part, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, no worries, as long as I get my money at the end. He was rough. He was, he wanted to get his money, and
yeah.
And then he had people in the background telling him he should get more. And
dude, bro, Brad, you are a freaking monster, bro. Truly, Brad, truly. I don't know if I'm able to pull off what you just did, bro, because that is, dude, that is badass, bro. That is badass. So congrats on that. So now, how long do you lock it on? How long do you lock it under contract for?
I think I did inspection was 30 days, and then closing. I think I had the closing for 30 days later as well.
Nice.
I just had them.
So basically, you locked it for 60 days.
Yep.
All right, Brad. Now tell me, how were you able to find the buyers?
So I got creative with that. I started calling Zillow for rent listings, and then saying, hey, my name's Brad, and told them what I did. And I was like, I'm not actually interested in your rental property, but what I am interested in is knowing if you would, maybe be interested in adding some more rentals to your portfolio. I've got a deal here, and, if you're looking to add any more to your portfolio, you can come take a look at it. And that's how I got the buyer.
Brad, bro, you are such a freaking beast. Dude, bro, you are a monster, Brad. Okay, so you lock it up. So how many for rent by owner did you call to land the buyers?
I think it was like on my fourth one. His wife actually answered and then said, oh, I'll give you my husband's number. He's the one that you want to talk to. and now he's a great friend of mine. His name's Patrick.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so basically, obviously, you set up the thing. He went out there. He looked at the property.
Yeah,
And,
two people actually looked at it
okay.
prior to him, and they weren't interested in it and made it
Oh,
seem like it wasn't a deal. So that was kind of discouraging, but I kept pushing. I'm like, I just got to show it to more people because it is going to be somebody's, you know.
dude, for sure. Okay, so Brad, what is the ARV?
ARV was about, I think it was like 290.
Okay, so 290. You got under contract for 170. And what was the estimated rehab?
It was a heavy rehab, but the buyer that ended up buying it, he was looking at it from a cash flow perspective, so he
Yep.
was going to turn it into a duplex. So it was a heavy rehab. I think like the 70-80 range, but
Got you.
being that he was going to put an ADU in the back and had all these plans for it, it was more a cash flow play for him.
Brad, I love it. And also too, so I want to break down a couple lessons that you guys can learn from Brad's story here. Now, Brad, you lock it up for 170. So since the time that you lock it up to finding the buyer and closing on it, total is 28 days.
28 days.
Got it. Okay. So now my next question to you is, how long did it took you from actually got into wholesaling and then start, right? The day that you
Oh
actually start.
gosh. I was watching your videos for way too long. Like I was one of those guys not taking action,
Yeah.
analysis paralysis, so much information. Like it was, I want to say it was probably 11 months. I was just
Eh,
working and watching your videos
Gotcha. So basically
before I
you
took action.
got it. Okay. So now, Brad, what made you all of a sudden decide, you know what, that's enough. I'm going to take action.
I just felt like I was more than capable of doing it. Like, you know, I'm like, this isn't rocket science. It's easy, but it takes work, you know, like it's a simple process from start to finish. As long as when road bumps come in, you just ride them, like, you know, because you have to solve the problems along the way to get it to the finish line. And so for me, it was, I'm willing to put in the work. And so when I saved up a little bit of money from working the job,
Yeah.
it was time.
Dude, Brad, I love it. So one of the biggest lesson here that I want all of you that's watching this to get from this is, Brad, I mean, I can relate to you on this story. When I first started as well, I got a prop in a contract and we blasted out to our buyers, and we got like, I don't know, 3 or 4 buyers came back and said, nope, it's not a deal. The number doesn't work. It's too high. But just like you, we persist, right?
Yeah.
At the time, for some of you, maybe you do have a deal, but you don't have enough, you don't have a big enough buyers list, because there will be a deal out there for somebody depending on how they look at it. For in this case with Brad, if they buy, fix, and flip it, it's not going to make sense. But this guy understands the market. He knows the area, so he can turn this into a duplex and then make it a cash flow, and then have the numbers make sense. See, so it's different to every single buyers. So a lot of times you just got to keep on pushing it. Don't get discouraged if you hear a few no's from a buyers, right? Just keep on pushing it out. And if you have to lower your price to get people coming in, right, to get activities on the property, and then do it. But don't just get a few no's and then just give up and get discouraged. Because I know some does that. Because when you're new, you're scared. When you're sending it out, 3 buyers say, hey, no, it's probably too high. And then what happened is you'll be like, oh my gosh. And then, oh my gosh, like you're afraid now that your time is going to come up. And then you call the seller and you're like, oh, I'm just going to cancel the contract because it's not going to work. Right. So what I'm saying is just continue to maximize it. If you have the time, just keep pushing it out and trying to get more eyeballs on there. And there will be a right buyers for it. Okay. Just so those of you who's watching this understand. So Brad, so from that first deal, where are you at now?
Oh, I've done many deals since then. Yeah, so I do quite a bit of wholesale deals. I just got into creative. I've got a
Nice.
sub 2 deal right now.
Nice.
So I've come a long way since then, but it was just like for me, I felt like people needed to hear this story because what I noticed is like people I'm, helping is when those road bumps come up, they stop, they quit, and it's just like if people would just persist, the deal is there, like they're everywhere, and so it's just about qualifying, finding the motivation. And if people are motivated and, you build rapport with them, they're going to want to do business with you.
Love it. And Brad, so what does the wife think now?
Oh, yeah, it's really awesome for her, and so now she helps in the business, and those handwritten letters are gold.
Hey, they are truly a gold mine. Okay. So Brad, I mean, what are some tips, advice that you can give to the people who's out there, maybe in that position where they're just watching? I heard someone said this online, Brad. They said information doesn't equal transformation.
Mm.
It's, you get the information, you got to take action on it. That's where the transformation happens.
It's all action,
Yeah.
you can be like me and wait 11 months to take action. It's like, but it's really easy to get stuck in that analysis paralysis,
Yeah.
just like thinking you're going to mess up. But through those failures become lessons, and then you just get more dialed in, like, and so those are part of the process. And so, like I was saying with those buyers, telling me my deal's junk, like you didn't get it low enough, this and that. And I'm just like, okay, wait a second. You go back to your education, right? I'm like, no, I ran my numbers right. And I know I ran my numbers right. It may not be a good fit for you, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be a good fit for someone else, so you got to go back to the buyers. And so, yeah, that's when I found mine.
Hey, Brad, man, honestly, bro, I have done this for, oh man, since on social media, probably over 6 years, man. And I brought a ton of people on here, man. And I gotta say, dude, your story is incredible, Brad. And
Thanks.
bro, I'm so happy for you, and I'm truly so proud of you, man. You definitely came a long freaking way. And tell the wife she's a beast. Tell the wife that, man, she's definitely a one, dude. She's definitely one in a million, bro. So congrats
Yeah.
on that.
Thank you.
That is a huge accomplishment over anything else. Brad, anything else you want to say to the viewer, man?
I just think people just need to take action, because you learn so much in your mess ups along the way. So if people are willing to be consistent, get out there, get the leads, and just qualify sellers, and those are going to convert into appointments, and those appointments convert into contracts, and the contracts to convert into closings. Like, so if you take that action, the money's there. Like,
So, Brad, before I let you go, man, Brad, I want to say it is an honor to have you here. Thank you so much for taking your precious time to be on here with me, man, to share your stories, to inspire and motivate other people. I mean, we both know where we started, right? We started just like some of you who's watching this. I remember 15 years ago, I was working, grinding my ass off at the JO, and then I saw this guy on YouTube holding a check for $30,000, and this is what he said. He said, "Hey, I work a few hours a week. I flip contract. I make $30,000 a month. What do you do?" And I said, "Come on, man, shit." And I was like, "Dude, wait a second." That's when everything clicked, Brad. I say, "Okay, so it's not how hard you work, but it's what you do for work that'll make you rich." Because I said I was working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and this guy said he only works a few hours a week, and he's making as much in a month as I in a whole entire year. And just like some of you who's watching, and just like you, Brad, when you mentioned about, your friend saying, "Oh, it's a scam," same thing. I said, wait a second. No, this is too good to be true. This guy's a scammer. He's probably out, selling courses and all that. So I had all the things just like you thinking. I was very skeptical about it. And I said, oh, man, this is probably another, get rich quick scheme, yada, yada, yada. But Brad, I was so sick and tired of the JO, dude.
So was I.
Bro, Brad, I was waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, get ready for work. It takes me 30 minutes to get to work. And I've been driving the same road, dude, for like 8 years. And I remember praying to God every single day, bro. After like 2 years in, bro, I pray to God every single day. I say, "God, please help me. Show me the way, show me a new path. Like, give me a new road. Like, I'm done with this, bro." And I was so tired. That's why I decided to go down the rabbit hole. And you know it, man. I was watching a YouTube video after another one. I was listening to a bunch of podcasts. I went on Bigger Pockets, and I just dive in. And thank God, and I remember making a promise to God that, hey, if you help me out of my situation, help me become financially free, I promise to go back. Once I make it, I promise to go back and help other people, man, get out of the rat race, because I know how miserable it is, man. Grind like J-O the B. So,
No,
Brad, I want to say,
it's rough.
yeah. And so, Brad, I want to say, man, thank you so much for taking time to jump on here and be here with me, Brad. And Brad, let's what? Let's go get
Go
this
get this money.
money. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate you so much. Now, listen, for those of you watching this video, and maybe you're sitting on the sideline, you're contemplating, you're procrastinating, you're overthinking, overanalyzing. Truly, I hope that Brad's story will lit the fire within you and let you know that, waiting for 11 months is just too long. If you would have started 6 months ago, you probably would have closed a few deals by now. So instead of saying one day, let's make it today as your day one. Do you agree with me? Now, here's what I'm going to do for all of you who's watching this. Okay? For all of you who's watching this, here's what I'm going to do for you. And this is something I wish that I had when I first started out. So I decided to launch my Skool Community, where I will give you the contract, right? My bulletproof contract, just like Brad got, okay? Where if you can't find a buyer, I put all the contingent in there so you can back out. I'll also give you my badass seller script, where I'll teach you how to talk, how to negotiate, right, with these homeowners, so you can get their property under contract at a steep discount. So this is perfect for those of you who have between $100 to $1,000 to invest into your self-education or into your business. I make it so extremely affordable, cost you less than what you pay for dinner. I'm also going to give you a step-by-step course showing you exactly how to do this from start to finish. Also, on top of everything, I'll put you in a private community where I will basically put you in a private community, in a room with other like-minded real estate investors across the country, so you can network, ask questions, and do deals with. This is something I truly wished I had when I first started. So I decided to launch my Skool Community just to make it extremely affordable, so each and every single one of you can get all the tools, all the resources that you need to get your feet wet and start getting you rocking and rolling with very little amount of risk. So if you're interested, my Skool Community is only going to cost you $57 a month. But here's the problem. There's only 50 spots available. After the 50 spot is taken up, we currently at 450 some members already. Once we hit 500 club members, the price is going to go up. So I don't know when you see this video, but I hope that you make it. You make the cut. So if you're interested, you're like, Kong, I am so ready. And I just want to give you this so you can get in without breaking your bank. $57 a month, less than what you pay for dinner. I used to charge over $1,800 for all the materials, the course, the training that I just shared with you. So all you need to do is go to skool.com/WTM Club, YouTube family, TikTok family. You can check the link in my bio. RSS, you don't need a license. You don't need an LLC. You don't need experience. You don't need a college degree. You don't even need a GE, the D. I'm a high school dropout, so if I can do this, you can too, okay? And the reason I decided to launch my Skool Community, I did not want to do it. I truly did not want to do it because I felt like it's just not worth it. But the reason I decided to do it, because so many of you have reached out and said, hey, Kong, I can't afford your I can't afford your academy. I can't afford your mentorship. Do you have anything that's more affordable so I can just kind of get myself into the game and start getting, get things rocking and rolling? And that's why I decided to launch the Skool Community, where I want to bring all the action takers and put them into one room so you can actually network, do deals, and hopefully that will help you close your first or your next wholesale deal. And I'll teach you how to do completely virtual, where you don't have to meet the seller, you don't have to see the property. Now, the next thing is for those of you who's been watching me and you're like, Kong, I need more of a hands-on mentorship. So this is not for everyone, but maybe you, the one who needs the hands-on coaching. Then I would love to personally invite you into my my Wholesale to Million Academy. So go to coachwithkong.com. TikTok, you can also check the link in my bio. But this is where you work with me. You work closely with me and my team. And this is where I literally take you by your hands and walk you through every step of the way. We have live classes 3 to 4 times a week to go over everything about your wholesaling business. This is also a place where you get to rub shoulder and network with some of my top students that have done over $300,000 in wholesale deal already. So yes, I have new students, but I also have experienced students who are in there where you can network, you can do deals with, collaborate, and all that. But this is more of a hands-on coaching because we're going to have live classes that I'll show you exactly what you need to do every single week, right? I'll give you an action game plan, right? So there's no trial and error. I'll tell you what to do, what's working. Just go do it. And when you run into a speed bump or you have a question or anything, any hiccups, literally reach out. I'll tell you exactly what to do next and get your answer instantly. Okay. So the info's there. The choice is yours. It's totally up to you which path you want to go. But like I said, if you have between $2,000 to $10,000 to invest, and you need that hands-on coaching, then obviously check out my Wholesale Community Academy. If you only have between $100 to $1,000 to invest, then I think it's best if you start with my Skool Community. That's probably the best place to start. Okay, YouTube family, I appreciate each and every single one of you that's here with me. And my last question, my last thing, you know, when Brad said there's a song that, you know, until you close the deal, then he'll play the song. And the song always comes up in my head is Eminem. He said, if you have only one shot, one opportunity, are you going to take it or are you going to let it slip away? So my question for you is, are you going to take it or are you continue sitting on the sideline, watching other people's closing deals, making that money while you're just drifting away, wasting another week, another month, another year? Because you could have been doing deals right now. And sometimes all it takes is putting yourself in the right room, in the right environment. All right. So YouTube family, let me share this with you. Okay. Just really quick. For those of you who's like, hey, Kong, I'm very interested in the Skool Community or whatever. Let me share the screen so you know exactly what you're getting. Because there's so much more than what I just tell you. And I want to make sure that you get everything that you need here to get you started. So I'm going to share this with you. So once you join my Skool Community, okay, I'm going to share this with you. So once again, go to skool.com/WTM Club. But here's what it's going to look like. The biggest thing is you got to check the classroom. This is where all the courses at. Here's all the contract that you get, the purchase and sale contract, the assignment contract, my script that I charge like $4.95 for. You get access to it for same price, $57 a month. All the cold calling that you need. Here's the JV contract, like all these courses that you get access to. And all of these courses, you will never find some of these informations on YouTube ever, okay? It's exclusively for club member only. We also have live classes like tomorrow. We have Scott. He's going to run a live class walking you through how to use the contract, how to fill the contract out, and how to protect yourself. So currently right now we have 455 club members already. So which means there's only 45 spots available. Once we hit 500, this is going to go to $67 a month, just so you know. And those who didn't get in when it was at $19, when it was $27, $37, $47, it's going to continue going because the amount of value that you're getting for what you pay, it is absolutely hands down the best Skool community if you want to learn about virtual wholesaling. Now check this out. We already have, which is Nathan. Nathan is a club member. He just recently locked 2 property under contract just based on all the courses that I share in here. Now I want you to understand, nothing works if you don't. Dreams don't work unless you do. Here's Nathan. Okay, this is his first signed contract. Look at that. And his second, going into, so just 2 weeks into wholesaling, got his first property under contract. He's going to market it to find the buyers. And just yesterday, he posted that he got another property under contract. So there's two property. I mean, not just Nathan, but many other club members who are willing to take actions is making it happen. So anyways, I just want to leave you with that. The choice is totally up to you. Okay. Now, I don't know when you're going to see this video, but just know that if you didn't watch this in time, if the price goes up, that's just how it is. Okay. I appreciate each and every single one of you. I want to say thank you so much for being here. I truly hope that this interview does even give you some, not just motivations, inspirations, but give you the self-belief, the confidence that you too can do this. And hopefully it pushes you to take actions and not sleep on your dreams anymore. Make today as day one that you're going to start. Until next time, YouTube, take care. And let's go get this money. I'm out.